Noisy Pixel.
I wouldn't say I'm particularly good at Soulsborne titles, but I can respect them for what they are, which is why I was a little nervous about reviewing developer Gunfire Games' newest title that borrows some elements from the punishing genre and presents it in a new way. However, to my surprise, the unique additions made to the gameplay here easily made it stand out on its own. I'm Brian Lee, and this is Noisy Pixel's review for Remnant from the Ashes.
We can't leave by the gates now, but the founder, my grandfather, gave me this key years ago. He said we should only use it when there's no other choice. Well, we are out of choices.
Remnant from the Ashes borrows various systems that Soulsborne fans will easily recognize. Things like resting at checkpoints, fighting weaker enemies to get to a towering boss, and paying attention to a stamina meter are all present here. While this might be enough to get fans of the genre on board, others like myself might need a bit more to truly become invested. Here, players will discover a feature known as traits. Traits act as your skill tree, and leveling up provides trait points that allow you to increase the effectiveness of each trait. What's nice about traits is that they offer more than just increasing basic stats. Some traits allow for you to improve your stealth by shortening the distance before enemies notice you, and others increase the amount of your mod meter you fill up after taking a hit. One of the best things about traits is that they're found throughout the game, and depending on what traits you find, you may be inspired to play your character differently. On top of traits, the game also has a thing called mods, which are special skills you can attach to weapons that require you to fill up a meter to activate. These skills have a variety of things they can do, such as revealing enemies around you with a red glow, creating a healing pool near you, and empowering your weapon with a chance to set enemies on fire. Similar to traits, many mods can be discovered throughout the game. I enjoy how these systems encourage the player to explore the game's world and perhaps go out of the way in order to find something unique that can make the playthrough a little easier. From my time with the game, guns and armor seemed like the less exciting element of character customization, but there's still quite a bit on offer. You're allowed to actively use one handgun, one long gun, and one melee weapon. I found that only having 2 gun slots and having those slots be dedicated to specific types of weapons was a bit limiting in regards to customization. Additionally, you can also upgrade the stats of a weapon, but if I spend the resources upgrading a weapon I like, I feel less incentive to try out other weapons since they will be weaker than the ones that I've already spent the effort improving. When it comes to gameplay, Remnant from the Ashes utilizes what developer Gunfire Games calls dynamic generation. What that means is there is a sort of RNG element when it comes to the maps and dungeons you encounter in the game. Gunfire Games has created special map pieces, locations, and quests that are stitched together randomly through every playthrough of the game. This makes it so that each playthrough is different when it comes to what bosses you encounter, what dungeons you find, and what secret locations you uncover. This allows players the chance to play through the game multiple times and still get something new out of it, which I felt worked out really well. The only issue I have with the RNG of the game is that it affects the difficulty of some of the major bosses you encounter. The boss types you encounter at the end of dungeons are random, but another RNG element of it is that these bosses also have a special trait that is randomly generated as well. This made the first dungeon I encountered for each of my characters vastly different in difficulty. And this is where co-op comes in. Co-op is probably the best addition to this game in my opinion, and one that opens up the Soulsborne genre to a wider audience. The game's difficulty does increase with more people in your party since the enemies have tougher stats and friendly fire is present. However, your co-op partners can resurrect each other by using up one of their limited heals, and the focus of enemies will be divided among the party, both of which makes tough fights a bit more manageable. And before concluding this review, I also want to quickly mention lore and secrets in Remnant from the Ashes. Without spoiling anything, there are a lot of secrets in the game that you can discover, and through these secrets you not only get cool things like items and traits, but you also get to discover bits and pieces of lore organically. Overall, I think there's enough in here to appeal to different groups of gamers that will create some fun experiences for all who play it. Whether you're going into Remnant from the Ashes for the solo campaign or teaming up with friends, it is bound to provide some intense moments of gameplay that I couldn't get enough of. Noisy Pixel is giving Remnant from the Ashes a solid 9.5 out of 10. It's a great game for Soulsborne and non-Soulsborne gamers alike.